What's up, New York Yankees fans? Welcome back to the Big Blue in the Bronx YouTube channel. Hope you guys are doing well. AGP back again. In this video, we're going to talk about the Aaron Hicks injury. He's on the IL now, and they have called up a guy by the name of Ryan LaMarre. Also to note, there were a couple of more options they could have went with in AAA, but they decided not to. They decided to go with Ryan LaMarre out of AAA. We'll view some of his background. We'll view some of the other backgrounds for the options that the Yankees could have won in terms of replacement outfielders, backup outfielders, and that stuff. But if you guys haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn that notification button on so you get notified when a live stream pops or a video drops. A lot of stuff's going to be coming out on the channel. I'm due for at least this video and two others. Also a live stream, another live stream backed up by that. Also, that is going to be the Boys in the Big Apple podcast. A very booked Monday. We are going to go over the schedules for the NFL, and we're also going to be predicting each NFL team's record for the 2021 season. Maybe there'll be an episode where we actually go over what we did last year in terms of that. We'll be doing it via Playoff Predictors, which is a good site to use if you want to predict another team's schedule and save it. Well, Playoff Predictors is a good place to use, is a good website to use in that case. And also they do NBA and MLB as well. So if you don't like the NFL and you want to predict NBA playoffs or something like that, you go to NBA Playoff Predictors. They're a good site. I don't sponsor them. I'm just shouting them out. So with that being said, let's talk about this Hicks injury. A couple of days ago, going back to the homestand, Aaron Hicks hit a ball off his shin. And I was like, I'm surprised that they didn't take him out that game. They didn't take him out. They actually took Judge out and put somebody else in for him. But he ended up having a problem a couple of days later in Tampa Bay where he had to go for an MRI. And that was the 9-1 loss against the Rays. He was not in the lineup. So there were lingering talks about a certain injury. Hicks, I have not heard of this injury before, but I'll say it as I see it. Torn tendon stealth, something like that. I have never heard of the injury. That's why I might be pronouncing it wrong. I apologize if I am, but I'm pretty sure that's the injury. So here are Aaron Hicks' stats on the season. I don't have the number of hits, but he's had 108 at-bats, 194 batting average with 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, with a 627 OPS. So with that being said, I want to talk about it a little bit. I have been very critical of Aaron Hicks to start the season. He is not what the Yankees, I would say, bought into him. Kind of starts a little bit like his 2016 year when he was first coming over to the Yankees, and he ended the season, I believe, with like a 196 batting average. His arm is good, his defense is good. It's just, I feel like sometimes in his at-bats, they're not really that good. Either he's trying to go for a walk too much or he's being way too aggressive. It's never in the middle with him. And that's the problem I have had with him this season. Also, other Yankee fans as well, amongst other things. But with that being said, you should never really wish a starter to go on the IL. I know Yankee fans, or at least the portion that I know, we're not wishing for that. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. I don't really condone anyone who's doing that. That is messed up if anyone's doing it, but hopefully Hicks is back soon. They're putting him on some anti-inflammatory treatment medicine right now. So hopefully, I guess it just stays on that and he doesn't have to do a lot of rehabbing. But in that case, I hope he's back soon, and I hope he's better when he comes back. Obviously, I don't know how long this thing was happening to him in terms of the injury. Aaron Boone said there was no particular swing or event that caused this. It just came out of the blue, which is kind of surprising to me, at least, that it had no connection with the Indians game and where he hit the ball off the shin. At least that is what Aaron Boone is saying. So with that being said, his replacement, it's not fully replacement because Aaron Hicks was the starting center fielder and Ryan LaMarre is likely to be a backup. I'm going to pull up his stats right now. So he's played in the major leagues before. He's played for several ball clubs. The Minnesota Twins are one of them. The Boston Red Sox are one of them. The Oakland Athletics, the Cincinnati Reds, the Chicago White Sox. If I'm missing any, I'm pretty sure I got all of those teams. Cincinnati Reds is the team that drafted him. But in his total MLB career, he has 4 home runs, 21 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 225 at-bats, and a 236 batting average. Now, to start the season in Scranton Wilkes-Barre with the Rail Riders, and they are off to a pretty hot start, so it's not just one player doing it all in AAA. LaMarre, Chris Gittens, there's a couple other players that have been hitting home runs and getting good base hits down there. Luke Voigt was doing that while he was down there. Miguel Andujar was producing while he was down there. Hence, I believe they're like 7-2, 8-2 right now. If not, I'm wrong. But they have somewhere around 7-8 wins right now in a total of 9 to 10 games played. Obviously, the 6-game series thing kind of changes the philosophy of the way the minor leagues are looked at right now. So, in 2021 for the Rail Riders, to start off the season, he has no home runs, which is, not something that's, in my opinion, that should be frowned upon because it is the minor leagues. You're not focusing on the analytics as much, if at all. The major leagues now is a home run or bust kind of system. But when you're in the minor leagues, you're doing more small ball. And we'll get to an option later where this guy has already had 3 stolen bases, which I don't think the Yankees have either had 3 stolen bases per person or per team or just like combined as a team. So in 2021 for the Rail Riders, 7 RBIs with a 273 batting average. I'm sitting afar from the screen, so if I'm glancing, I apologize. He's also had 2 stolen bases. So once again, that means they're using small ball down there with Doug Davis as the manager. Unfortunately, that's not something you're going to see a lot in the major leagues. This obviously indicates that he has speed. So if the Yankees can use him as the speed guy instead of Tyler Wade or someone off the bench, I think that would be good. But the way the Yankees, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions as well, what they're going to do probably is have Voit still play the DH spot because Stanton is injured. Probably put Mike Ford or DJ LeMahieu at first. You have Clint Frazier in left, Gardner in center, and Judge in right. So that's probably what they'll do. And here are a couple other options for the Yankees, or at least what they could have gone to. This one is Derek Dietrich. This one has been talked about a lot. He signed with the New York Yankees this offseason. He's been with a bunch of teams. He's been with the Marlins. He's been with the Reds. I feel like I'm forgetting one, but those are 2 teams that he's been a part of in terms of hitting, in terms of not really defense, but the power is just there. Now, I did remark upon the fact a couple of days ago that he started out well. Well, he's kind of dropped in that fashion because Derek Dietrich is, I don't want to put him to the level of Mike Ford, but he's the home run hitter that's going to hit 190 every year. And I've come to the realization of that. But that's just how players are in the modern day of baseball. So he's got 34 at-bats so far, 5 hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and a 147 batting average. I kind of like the fact that he didn't get called up just yet. I know a lot of Yankee fans were screaming for that once several players hit the DL, or the IL, I should say. I'm still used to saying that. But they left him in the minor leagues. They would have to select the contract, and they selected the contract of Ryan LaMarre. He was not on the 40-man roster. None of these guys are. And I'm going to point it out right now. I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off. Estevan Florial is not someone I'm going to be talking about in this video because Estevan Florial, yes, he did start well in Somerset, but he's only gotten 1 or 2 games with the Rail Riders. He is not ready yet to be called up to the major leagues. So the Yankees had 39 men on the 40-man roster. They called up 1 more with Ryan LaMarre. So Derek Dietrich, if he gets better, possibly an option is like a backup first baseman, backup infielder to replace, Tyler Wade or Mike Ford. 2 different players, but I think he would be a solid depth piece if he could get that hitting up. I mean, I know he's the type of player to hit 190 with a bunch of home runs, but I would like to see more consistency out of him. That's just my thoughts. So the next guy is a guy the Yankees actually acquired in the offseason as well. Most of these guys are newbies that I'm going to be talking about this and another guy next, which will probably finish up this video. This player is Greg Allen. Hence, when I was talking about stolen bases earlier, he's already got 3 on the season. Hence, the use of small ball in the minor leagues. Doug Davis, the manager of the Rail Riders. So, start off this season, he's got 28 at-bats, 7 hits, no home runs, no RBIs. He's not particularly the type to hit a home run, as you see in his career as an MLB player in the major leagues. I don't know if he got any chances major league wise with the Padres. I know he got some playing time with the Indians. He's not starter type. He's a speed guy. He's not starter type though. He's not going to be starting out, how many games a year, like 150. No, he's going to be coming off the bench if he was ever to get a chance again. So with that being said, he's got 3 stolen bases on the season with a .250 batting average. Speed guy. I don't think the Yankees would have called him up anyway. He's not on the 40-man roster, as I mentioned earlier. To call him up, it would basically mean as much as somebody like Ryan LaMarre, speed guy, backup guy, someone who's not going to start. If, let's say, I don't know, Clint Frazier, Brett Gardner gets injured as well, then the increase in playing time will happen. But as far as Greg Allen goes, he's going to be staying in the minor leagues for now, unless something else, God forbid, happens. Hopefully not. But Allen is a solid depth piece for the outfield that competed a little bit in spring training, didn't really get a lot of chances because he was designated for assignment when Justin Wilson was signed. He was actually acquired, I believe, 2 to 3 months earlier. So with that being said, let's go on to our last option for the New York Yankees, and that is Socrates Brito. Now, he is Spanish, that I learned. I think he's Dominican, and that surprises me a little bit because Socrates is a Greek name. At least from what I can see is someone who's Greek himself. Now, let's leave me out of the picture for a couple of seconds and let's talk about Socrates Brito. The Yankees, they signed him in the offseason as a minor league contract, invite to spring training type of guy. Didn't do that well in spring training, and from what I can see here, he's done all right to start the minor league season with the Rail Riders so far. Excuse me, I have to sit up a little bit. He's got 36 at-bats, 10 hits, 1 homer, 5 RBIs, 1 stolen base, and a .278 batting average. As I said, I have to glance for this stuff because I am sitting far away from the screen. But so far, it seems like he's a power bat. We knew that coming into spring training. He had like an .070-something batting average. So speed guys won't give you that unless it's Tyler Wade. Speed guys will probably just go for hits, go for sac bunts. Socrates Brito is more of a power hitter. If we're going to he's not like he's going to hit 30 home runs a year, but he's more of the power side where he's going to strike out rather than the speedy side and a good fielding side. As far as him possibly going on the roster goes, he is an option. Compare him a little bit to Greg Allen, not necessarily in terms of speed, but just the way they are and the position they're at right now in terms of their major league careers. They failed in their first major league career, not really major league career, but they failed in their first opportunity, and they're trying to get a second as a minor leaguer, hopefully to get called up to the major leagues within, how many days, weeks, months, years, whoever knows, in terms of as a depth piece and maybe trying to get their starting chance again. But for Brito, in his major league career, he hasn't done much. 5 homers, 18 RBIs, and a .179 batting average. So he probably stands with Greg Allen in the same position. Hopefully the Yankees don't do enough damage into the outfield. We haven't seen any major injuries for Judge. Stanton we still have to wait on, but there are more options with Stanton because he is an outfielder, but he's also a designated hitter. But once again, there's a lot of players on the roster that can hit and also be the DH at the same time. So that is it for this video. If you guys haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn that notification button on so you get notified when a live stream pops or a video drops. I really liked making this video. I'm probably going to edit it out. It's going to be about 14 to 15 minutes. In that case, I really don't do a lot of Yankee videos other than the recaps. This is something I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed putting out. Anyway, peace out, guys. See you later in the next couple of videos.